Welcome to the C-Suite Mentor, the place where you will learn the tools, strategies, and mindset to scale your business sustainably and build a lasting legacy. I'm your host, Theresa. As a fellow CEO, I understand what it takes to scale a business to 7 and multiple 8 figures. It's not necessarily what you might think. It requires a complete shift in how you think, strategize, and execute key actions in your business. My mission is to help CEOs step back into the driver's seat of their business by optimizing their operations, empowering their team, and staying in total alignment with their big vision. So, are you ready to exchange everything that hasn't worked for strategies that will? You're in the right place, so let's go. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it seems to be a thing coming up. And they said to me, there's a client of mine, and they said, Theresa, I just feel so overwhelmed. I am trying to get stuff to happen. I'm trying to put actions into place, and I just feel so overwhelmed. I feel like I can't get everything done. And I feel like all these things just keep happening with the economy, with the tariffs coming in, and what's happening with my costs and what's happening with my team. I just feel so overwhelmed and frustrated, and I'm just not sure what to do. And when we sat down and really started talking about it, the truth of the matter is, and I've learned this myself and dealing with overwhelm over the years, is we need to look at it a little bit differently, because more often than not, that feeling of overwhelm, and when we really look at it, it's because we are mismanaging our mind and we're mismanaging our time. And that's really hard for some people to absorb and to digest. And I get it, because someone said it to me long, long ago. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm not mismanaging my time. I'm not mismanaging and the truth of the matter is I was. So there are so many things happening. And I read an article that when they talk to leaders and CEOs of businesses and business owners, they were saying that they spend 45% of their time putting out fires. They are focusing on things that really aren't urgent, and really they're building or they're doing things based on what's happening today. So of course, when you are absorbing all of the inputs that are coming in from the news, or coming in from, articles that you read or things that you see online where it's, this, like the tariffs are coming in. And I saw something the other day from one of the vendors that we deal with, and it was like the tariffs were 152%. It's just like crazy. And that can just get you like all into this space of overwhelm and stress and frustration and anxiety. And then lay on top of that all of the navigating of in certain industries. It's just not just trying to find really good help, but then trying to retain good help, and listening to what's happening with people who are, you hear constantly about businesses laying people off, and you hear about, the challenges with navigating rising costs, and, even in the restaurant industry, navigating the price of eggs because of bird flu. And there's all kinds of stuff happening, right? So of course, we're going to get overwhelmed if we let all of that impact us. And if we are, as the conversation that I had with this person the other day, a client of mine, she was like, I'm trying to get all of this stuff done, and I'm planning my goals for the next quarter, and I'm trying to do all of this. And what we came across was, when we looked at her schedule, was she was doing all of this random stuff. She was doing all of these random tasks instead of sitting down with her team and having a conversation about it and figuring out what she really needed to do and what she could actually delegate out. And what it also comes down to, when we were looking at things, is the goals that she was planning and the things that she was doing were based on current circumstance. So I said to her, we need to get back to, what is your vision? What is that vision that you have for this future that you want to create. And I think in a time when there is so much frustration and people feel like their team is stretched thin, they feel like they're just watching every single cost and watching their budget. It is so easy to get brought back into whatever is happening in that current circumstance. And I'm not saying we need to ignore it, because we don't. But what we need to do is we need to be aware of what's happening and then look at that and say, how can we manage what's happening now? How can we be aware of it? How can we take it into consideration, and at the same time continue to innovate and continue to really focus on that vision that we have for this future that we want to build and this future that we want to create? Because at the end of the day, I have this belief that our vision is actually the bridge from our dreams and the actions that we take, our dreams and the goals that we set. Our vision is what is in between. It is literally that future that we want to build with the team that we have. And again, it is so easy to get super caught up in current circumstance and think that we are building based on our vision, but what we're doing is we're actually building based on what's happening today. And again, I'm not saying that we can't be aware of it, because we absolutely need to. I mean, I run businesses that are dealing with the tariffs, dealing with getting product in from overseas. I run businesses that are dealing with increases in food costs and trying to navigate, what's happening with consumers and whether or not they go out to eat or they stay home. So you have to be aware of it, but you can't let that dictate your mind. You can't let that dictate the thoughts that you have and what you believe as to what's possible and what's not possible. You have to let your vision drive you forward and be your compass, be your GPS. And now more than ever, we need to focus on building things, building your business, building dreams, building your vision, building new initiatives, building momentum. And momentum comes from taking action. We need to focus on building more than tearing things down, right? Because again, if you listen to and get really caught up into what we hear on the news and what is happening in the economy and what is happening, just what's going on overall, it's really easy to let that, or it's really easy to let that dictate what our next action steps. So if you're saying to yourself, I'm overwhelmed, and you're letting that drive your decisions, the decisions that you end up making and the actions that you end up taking are going to be coming from a place of overwhelm and lack and frustration and stress and anxiety, instead of from a place of abundance. So if you're saying to yourself, I'm overwhelmed, look at how are you managing your time? Are you dedicating really core time to building that vision, to really looking at what is that future that we want to create? So as an example, in the retail store that I run, we're looking at it with these tariffs and these things, these rising costs and struggles that different vendors are having. We're looking at it and we're saying, okay, you know what? We're aware of this. What are we going to do to navigate it? What are we going to do to get through or around this obstacle and this challenge that we have that aligns with that future that we're building, that difference that we want to make, that difference of bringing cultures together, not separating them apart, that difference of creating an experience of being over in Ireland and Scotland in the United States, creating that experience of bringing people together and gathering and letting the stress of the world go for just that period of time that you're inside that building. That is the vision. That is the target. That is the GPS that drives everything else. It doesn't mean that we're not aware of what's happening in the world. It doesn't mean that, that we let go of inventory. Maintaining inventory is a constant balancing act. And, understanding the tariffs and understanding what's happening with the exchange rate, it's a constant balancing act. We don't forget about that, but we also don't let it drive our thinking about what's possible. So the way that I look at this as a leader in a business, as a leader in the world, as a leader in your organization, we want to look at this as how can we balance the chaos that happens every day with the innovation that we want to create? What do we need to do to balance all of that? And the way that we do that is we constantly have that vision in front of us. And we don't just look at that and say, okay, what can I do as a leader? We look at it and say, what do I need to do as a leader to bring people into my vision, bring people into co-creating this with me? What do I need to do to empower my people to solve problems and to come up with solutions so that I'm not constantly putting out fires all the time? What can I do to, make sure that my team isn't stretched thin by seeing what we need to do to optimize how we do things in our business? What do we need to do to streamline our operations? I hear people talking. I watched something yesterday. How can you consistently keep your business lean while in a contracting economy? And just like it's just focusing on staying lean and contraction. And how can we optimize? How can we optimize our operations? How can we optimize what we're doing? How can we stay focused on that vision, but being aware of all of the things that we need to navigate? And when we stay focused on that vision and we're super clear on it, again, it is the bridge that gets us from our dream to taking action and to building momentum. Our vision is that GPS that helps us to navigate all of these challenges. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, go back and look at how are you managing your time? Go back and look at, are you basing your decisions on all of the inputs and really watching your inputs and making sure that you're not getting into the swirl of what's going on? And looking at it and saying, am I basing my decisions solely on current circumstance? Am I basing my goals on current circumstance? Or am I basing it on this future that we want to create? Because if there's one thing that I know, going through multiple recessions myself in my time, building businesses and launching new product lines, bringing new products to market during recessions and having a business thrive during recessions, it is this: things cycle. Things cycle. And if we're not willing to learn from them, if we're not willing to learn and understand, it's going to keep repeating. And it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if we can learn from things, if we can use our community of our team as a superpower and getting everybody on board and getting everybody to co-create with us, if we're not willing to do that, things will keep repeating themselves. And as I said, there's one thing that I know is things, they cycle. They cycle. They go through it. And if we're willing to learn from it and we're willing to really stay focused on the things that are important, we're going to get through it and we're going to thrive from it and we're going to be better for it. But in order to do that, we have to stay future focused. We have to zoom out from what's happening right now. We have to zoom out from our day-to-day function and thinking that we have to constantly put out fires. We have to zoom out from that and stay future focused. As soon as you walk in the building, if 500 people are asking you questions, you need to ask yourself a question: have I empowered them enough to make the right decisions? Have I empowered them enough with information so that they can navigate these situations? And if the answer is no, that's where your focus needs to be. So remember, now more than ever, it's important that we build our team, we build confidence, we build our business, we build our dream, we build our vision, not tearing things down. So it's not that you're overwhelmed, it's that you're focusing on the wrong things. So I hope that this helped you. Remember, your vision is the bridge. It is the bridge that is going to get us through all of this right now. And now more than ever, we need to have vision. We need to have vision because we need to have people building a better future. So I hope this helped you. Until next time, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. If you found value on this show, please follow the podcast so you never, ever miss an episode. And I would love, love, love if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for me. Even better, share the show with a fellow business owner ready to step fully into their CEO leadership role. Because right now, more than ever, the world really needs next level leaders. And by the way, did you know you can text me all your questions and get real-time feedback? You absolutely can. Just text the word CEO to me at 610-215-2838 to get connected. One last goodie for you before I go. If you're ready to scale your business and have a co-creator working right by your side, my C-Suite Mentor Program may be perfect for you and your possible new second in command. Just visit thecsuitementor.com to get started.